Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappala and John Molori.
Johnny M., what's up? What's going on? What do you got, an Army hat on?
It's a Bruins hat. It's a camouflage Bruins hat. Boston Bruins.
I don't know if I like that.
I'll take it off for the second segment.
No, we'll pass. We'll pass.
Would my bare head be more appealing to you? Or
Hey, you didn't see the did you happen to catch last week's show, the little videos we did at the beginning?
I didn't.
Oh,
you and Rico did little videos?
You were part of it.
I was part of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll have to watch
You'll
that.
have to watch that.
Is that up on Facebook anywhere?
Oh, all over Facebook. What we did was it was last week was our anniversary show going into our
Yes,
6th
I
year.
saw that. Yeah.
So we put a couple of bloopers up front, commercials.
I couldn't have been in it because I
No,
made a mistake.
I know that. No, but you weren't. This was in the early days of the show.
Yeah.
And John Brogy asked Rico and I to do a couple of commercials for the National. We did, and we kept screwing them up. So we had Ellen was videoing it. So after that, I said, Molori, when the show started, Molori was like, he was like a gleam in our eye.
Right.
I says, here's what he looked like when the show started. And there's a picture of you somewhere with a little face and a little stocking cap on when you're about 12.
Oh, you used that.
Oh, yeah, we used it.
That was when I was with Sam Cunningham.
Right.
Methuen
That's
Mall,
the one.
Yeah.
And then after that,
That's great.
I said, and here's Molori today. You with the three babes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right. The name of the show is the Great American Collectibles Show. Our headline, we got a great show today. Jordan Gilroy, good kid, and his boss is a good guy, too, from Lelands. We miss old Josh. Josh was a great guy, but he spent a lot of time with us in the early days of the show.
Yeah.
So Jordan's going to join us, Jordan Gilroy. Is he on? He's on with us now, right? Bring him in. You can bring him in. Jordan, you're in now. But how are you? Before we talk to Jordan, we've got a couple of little minor headlines. So there's I don't know how
two minor headlines equals like one big one.
Well,
is that how it works?
This is really not a headline, but this is absolutely amazing.
It's not even a head.
Our good friend Dave Kohler. Can you hold this up? I don't know if you can see it.
I got it. Can we get that?
Yeah, well, you can on the show you can. Yeah, when it shows up, it's an actual close-up. So Dave Kohler is going to be SCP Auctions is going to be auctioning this off. This is the half Honus Wagner card.
You zoom in and he took it out of my head.
All right. His lower lip is missing.
So it's basically a torn Honus Wagner card.
It is. Now, I think the starting bid Jordan's going to start. I think he's going to start it at $25,000. That's well.
I get it that a real one goes for $3 million, but I mean.
But so I'm going to ask your thoughts on this, Jordan. My opinion. A card like this. Excuse me.
Half a card.
Half a card like this. I look at this like a Monet that has been. Something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like a defect, somebody dropped it, or there's a rip in it.
Sure.
So my feeling, and you're the expert, Jordan, so what would happen is rather than, let's say this thing goes for $200,000, $300,000, whatever it's going to go for, what would happen if we bought this card and we went to a professional restorer, like an art restorer, and he restores the card, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and then PSA would...
So he paints.
No. Create it.
He's creating the section that will fit.
Right. And then it would be graded authentic, altered.
There's such a thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, if it was totally restored by an art specialist, would the value of this card go up, Jordan, in your opinion, dramatically?
I would say yes. It just depends on the quality of the work. If you could on a scan on a
It's
computer.
going to depend on what it looks like. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I was curious about
If it looks really nice,
Yeah.
then all it means going up in values and more people might buy it. That's the definition of going up in value.
Exactly, but I
So,
mean,
yeah, if it
it's,
looks
it's like a
nice,
restored
right.
piece of art.
Sure.
Right. Like the Elizabeth Stewart Gardner. When they find those things, they're going to have to restore them because they're probably
I don't know who
trash.
she is, but sure.
All right, and then we have a little headline
I
here.
know Ava Gardner.
God. Collectors Universe acquires trading card valuation platform Card Ladder. Now, I went on the Card Ladder
You were
site.
excited about that. You almost lost your
I tell you,
voice
man.
saying
I
that.
tell you, this is a really cool
great
site.
headline.
Do you know about this, Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
Awesome.
So, I mean, it's like they're bringing the card world into the stock market, basically.
And I'm going to give you credit because you were ahead of the curve on this.
A long time ago, we
You've
talked
said
about
all along
years
that
ago.
buying cards now is like buying stocks.
But now
or works of art for that.
You can type in on their search engine. You have to join.
Sure.
You can type in 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
What will come up is every 1933 Gaudi that has ever sold.
Yep.
But then the analytics, just like a stock ticker.
Like a ticker, right.
What it's doing at the moment, what it's done for the year, 6%,
Yeah.
8%,
Yeah.
how it's tracking.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know? So I typed in my, where is it?
You have so many papers.
I typed in my Staten Island Joe.
What the hell are you doing with all these papers?
I typed in my Staten Island Joe Greg Jeffries card.
Oh,
Signed-
that one. Signed. Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing.
No ticker on that.
Didn't
one.
even show up.
Nothing.
Didn't even show up.
Yep.
But anyway.
That
Oh,
one.
yeah.
She's
Can
got
we
it.
see that?
One that I found.
Thank you.
I feel like I found it under the desk halfway through the week.
I typed in this card. Greg
Chrissy
Jeffries,
uses that when she runs out of dental
signed
floss.
by
It's
Staten
just a-
Island Joe Marino, who happens to own about 84 million of them.
Yeah. Signed.
It didn't show up, man. I was so ticked.
Well, you can't have it all. Maybe if you ripped half of it off and had it authentic altered, it would be better.
All right, let's get to Jordan. You guys have had a great year,
Yeah.
great year. But before we talk about the past, tell us about this Mint 25 auction that is coming up in January. That's a mind blower.
Yeah, 25 lots. Each of them have to be worth around 250,000 or more. So we're really looking forward to it, and the fact that it's so exclusive allows us to focus so much more attention on each of the items. And when we bring them to the show in Vegas, we'll be displaying them, showing potential buyers them in hand, so they don't have to just look at a scan. And we're just really excited to see the people that come out and bid, because if you're going to bid on these cards, you got to expect to pay at least $250,000.
I was going to say that. The people that are going to bid on these bad boys have some resources, big resources. Yeah. So I think they're all going to come out of the woodwork, like the real high high
Big
rollers.
Time. Big time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then the final night's a live auction, so we all know what could happen there in Vegas.
have a couple of cocktails, and whatever you want to
time that right.
Exactly.
You got to time that right, Jordan. So, Jordan, tell us about the Mint Collective. It's coming up in January.
Yeah, the last weekend of January. It will be the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm projecting it to be like, some kind of a card show, but also a huge networking opportunity. This is going to be, the top dealers and auctions and influencers and individuals in the hobby getting together and really talking shop and coming together and seeing how we can promote the hobby more and spread the word and get more people involved, not just for sports cards, but for memorabilia and Pokemon and let's say soccer and Magic the Gathering and memorabilia, like all this stuff combined into one, and also the knowledge, because, having the knowledge of what things sell for is really important now. So if we can combine all that into one massive industry or hobby, then it'll be pretty dangerous.
So it's going to just an exchange of ideas, an exchange of thoughts, things like that. Will it be an audience? What is it exactly?
So there will be guest speakers,
Okay.
There'll be panels, there will be setups. We're not giving too much information now in the beginning. We're doing it bit by bit, just to gain momentum. But it's going to be a huge show. Maybe not like huge as in 1 million people show up, but the magnitude and the importance of it is going to be quite extraordinary.
So are these people like using you guys, Heritage, the dealers, the auction houses? Are you guys going to be up on a stage commiserating with the audience, answering questions, talking to shop?
Yeah, at times, yeah. There'll be a lot of speakers throughout the 3-day show, a lot. Not just, people that sell cards, but also are in other parts of the hobby, like Card Ladder and the information that they put out. Other people that run Instagram influencer accounts that a lot of people follow and listen to. So a little bit of everything, not just us saying, oh, you should buy this card. It'll be people teaching others that, we're trying to get in and involved in the hobby.
That's awesome.
That
sounds
very
really
cool.
unique.
No, it's very cool. So you have a huge auction that closes on December 11th. Give us kind of a general overview. I spent a lot of time on the auction site. You got some amazing things. Kind of give us a general overview of the auction.
Well, what we like to do is have a little bit of everything, not just cards. I mean, we all know cards are incredibly popular right now, but we also see a lot of movement in the game used memorabilia market, the ticket market, the vintage sports market. So we like to do a little bit of everything. So now we have, the classic Tom Brady championship ticket autograph. This is our 4th auction in a row that we've had it. We have one of the finest, if not the best, Melot game-worn jersey in the world.
Yeah, it looks great.
We have debut tickets, signed 300 win tickets, low pop tickets, game-used bats of Hall of Famers, including Hank Aaron. I mean, just a little bit of everything. Because, we've been around for 40 years. Our clients used to be all vintage, and now we have the modern people, and we're just trying to give everyone a little bit of everything.
Jordan, we talk a lot about the marketplace and who's buying cards, what types of cards they're buying, what types of items they're buying, if it's not cards, whether it's a game-worn jersey or a program or a photograph. Where are you at with that? Are things ticking younger when you start talking about maybe some of the younger quarter, like Justin Herbert, we'll say, or someone like that? Where do you see the market heading or going right now?
I would say the younger people are buying the younger players, and older people are buying the older players.
People are sticking to what they know, what they're fans of. Yeah.
But does that not?
They're buying their childhood back.
Right, but does that not bode well for the older collectors? In other words, is my 1951 Bowman mantle gonna 10 years from now be worth less than it is now because I'm dead?
Well, mantle, luckily,
hopefully,
I'm not sure your lifespan affects
not me in particular, but I'm saying
it's a bit of an egotistical way to look at it.
As the baby boomers walk into the sunset, into the field of dreams, into that cornfield.
Well, you mean is die.
Thank you.
Right.
If you build it, they will come.
Are those cards going to go down in value, or is this group of investors, is the light going to go on with the young kids, and they're going to say, "Hey, wow, let's." I mean, for crying out loud, I wasn't around when the T206 collection was out, but that's a very iconic set. Is that going to happen as these kids get older?
I'd like to say yes. That'd be great if everything keeps on, going up in the future. But yeah, I mean, guys like Mantle and Ruth and Cobb, they're iconic. Even 15-year-old kids love Mickey Mantle. So the majority are older, but there will always be young people that appreciate history and, will always go for the best of the best. So they'll look for a high-grade Bowman Mantle rookie. They'll look for a Wagner. They'll look for, Gehrig stuff. They'll always look for the best of the best. Maybe not to collect, but maybe for investment purposes. But yeah, I mean, a Wagner card right now is the most iconic card in the world. And, a 30-year-old millionaire could spend $5 million on it tomorrow. It's just like that.
Good point.
We've talked about this a lot, Jordan. And as a younger guy, I want to get your view on it. Because when I asked that question, I didn't necessarily mean young people are buying young players and the opposite. My point is, I think all investors, collectors, young or old, are looking at everything now. I really do, especially if they're looking at it as an investment, because you can't ignore vintage cards because they've maintained their value. I mean, they're like a blue chip stock, like you say. So
that's what I mean, and you're right. And I'm hoping that's the case. I mean, I'm hoping that, and I'm speaking to the young investors out there, hobbyists / investors, is that I'm hoping that they really understand, and we've talked about this, to look at that mantle card or that Cobb card or that Wee Willie Keeler card the same way you would look at a Procter & Gamble or an AT&T, a blue chip stock 30 years ago. I mean, a company that's been around for, a zillion years.
Jordan, I want to get your view on a young guy. We're based here in Boston, on Mac Jones. He's come a long way this year. I think a lot of people think, number 15 pick. We know he came from the incubator with Nick Saban. I think everyone knew he'd be a smart player, but I just think the way he's developed and now the numbers he's starting to put up are pretty impressive for a rookie quarterback. Where is he in the marketplace now? Where do you see him going?
He's at a good spot. He had a lot of pressure on him in the beginning of the season, and it was a little slow, but now he's got, games under his belt, some wins under his belt. People are on his side now, not just Patriots fans, but the collecting world. I see when people are breaking cards online and they pull a Mac Jones auto, they go crazy. And that means, they're happy because it's worth a lot of money. He's doing very well.
Yeah.
But nowadays, stuff is so expensive as a rookie. They kind of have to keep the bar that high for their entire career in order for stuff to go up.
Well, I was going to say that. I mean, I was going to ask you that question because, we things are starting to become clear now with the ball players from the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, there are quarterbacks that are playing today that a year and a half ago their cards were through the roof, but guess what? They've gone down. They've gone down because they got hurt. He's not as good as everybody thought he was going to be. Isn't that happening? I mean, that's what's really crazy about this new investing that's going on. It's like day trading.
Scary. Yeah, it could be scary. I mean, Mahomes, we all thought he was invincible.
Perfect example.
He didn't tank. It's not like his market dropped. They just got, I guess, a little bit unlucky. Receivers drop passes. But he's fine now. It's just if someone wasn't up there, then they could have been, susceptible.
Well, what about Zion Williamson? Is that a good example? Now, there's a guy that, I mean,
through the roof when it started.
Through the roof, and now like Zion will, what's his card worth? He's going to eat his way out of the NBA anyway. But I mean, his card's gone to crap, hasn't it?
Yeah, not as high as it was at the peak, but that's just everyone is, the people that are saying, oh, he's not going to be good. I guess they might just be a little bitter because they have his cards and they're not making money on it.
Right.
So, I think, he can come back and he could put up 20 points a game and the script can flip the script. But right now, things aren't looking the best. But, that just means he could only go up in a way.
No, you're right.
He's being politically correct.
I mean, it could drop more, but
it's all about what he does on the court. If he comes back and lights it up, then they're going to shoot through the roof again. Jordan, I mean, obviously the two of us age-wise have been around longer than you, but you're an astute guy. You follow the sports world. I don't remember a time where across the board in sports there was more of a glut of young talent. I mean, seriously, like even in baseball.
I was going to say, not just in football.
With the second-generation ball players, the Guerreros and the Tatises and those guys. Basketball with John Morant, Williamson, Jason Tatum, whatever. We talked a little bit about football with all these great young quarterbacks and defensive players, Aaron Donald. I mean, can you just talk about that a little bit? It's got to be an exciting time in the collectibles world where, all this young talent is coming together and performing.
Well, it's awesome because I think the players and the families of these players, when they were younger, they saw how much money athletes are making now. So they kind of start them out real early, like 10 years old, and they try to make them into machines.
AAU and everything. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you have all these players who have been getting fed all this information and been working out and playing travel games since they were 10 years old. And now they're all elite.
Yeah.
And I like it, though, because it allows the hobby and people to kind of, speculate and invest in, a bunch of players. And, chances are some of them will pan out, some of them won't. But it's good that there are a lot of good people instead of, just Mahomes being young and good,
point.
or just Zion being good.
Yeah, one of those guys that burst onto the scene the last couple of years is Shohei Ohtani. You have a Superfractor card, I know, out there now in your auction. Can you just talk about him and the pieces you have of him or have seen from him?
Oh, yeah, he's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the last 10 years we've had Daisuke, we've had Matsui, Ohtani. And Ohtani is arguably a better hitter than pitcher. And who could go on the mound and throw a complete game and
Absolutely
hit
crazy.
40 homers?
Yeah.
It's just...
Babe Ruth, to me. That's right.
Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah.
That's it. We are chatting with Jordan Gilroy from Lelands. We're going to take a quick break. We have a lot to talk about. Because you know why? You're that young, you're on both sides of the fence, I'm sure. You're the investor, you're the collector, but you're also the auctioneer, the dealer.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a good combination. We're going to take a quick break. Hang in there, and we'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi everyone, I'm Rico Petroselli and I'm very excited to talk to you about our new partner, Panini America. Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we're proud to have them as the official trading card of the Great American Collectibles Show. When it comes to modern trading cards of your favorite players, Panini America leads the way in terms of innovation, design, creativity, value, and fun. From landmark brands such as Donruss, Prism, and Contenders to high-end juggernauts like Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate, Panini America delivers the hottest trading cards of the biggest names in the NBA, NFL, MLB, PA, NASCAR, soccer, and college. When you want to collect the best, collect Panini America. Ask for it at your local hobby shop or at mass retailers like Target and Walmart. And you can always find Panini America online at icollectpanini.com. Panini America. Who do you collect? How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
Okay, we are back, and Jordan Gilroy is in the house with us. Al Crisafulli from Love of the Game is going to be joining us for a few minutes later on.
Awesome.
By the way, our giveaway today, he wasn't a very handsome guy, was he?
No, kind of intimidating.
Yeah,
Angry.
well, this is a Hall of Fame. We're going to give this away. This is Hall of Fame umpire Al Barlick, and it's signed. It's very difficult to see his signature because he signed it in, I don't know, gold. He's no longer with us. Al is no longer with us. He's umpiring up in the sky.
He was never really with us.
Well, he was, but he's not with us anymore.
Where's the signature?
It's like you can hardly see it.
What did he sign it on He signed it on a black jacket with a black pencil.
Yeah,
He walked into the cornfield, right?
He's the one that's umping the game.
Oh, good.
It's interesting that with an umpire, you did an autograph nobody can see, since most umpires can't see.
So anyway, we're going to be. This will be our giveaway.
That was for you, Dave.
Out of the famous Baseball Hall of Fame museum shop bag that was donated by the Staten Island Joe Foundation.
Yes. Same people that brought you the
card.
the Greg Jeffries card.
I mean, Joe Marino is such a philanthropist. He's just amazing. He's donated.
He's a Yankee fan.
Greg
right?
Jeffries cards.
Big Yankee fan.
Yeah, please. I see Joe in Florida quite a bit. And between him, there's another guy, Tom Cerrito. They aggravate the hell out of me with this Yankees crap. They really aggravate.
That's the old days, Tom. You got it over him now.
That's a good point.
Kidding me?
That's a good point. Jordan, let's get back let's talk about the auction. Give us a little more about the auction, the current auction that ends on December 11th. Then we want to get back into some other things, but some of the other cool stuff: memorabilia, cards,
photos,
non-sports.
Yep.
You got a little
Sure.
of everything.
Yeah, photos. I mean, we got that Brown Brothers collection, and that's history. That's pretty much an oversized card if you really think about it. It's an image on paper stock, and it tells a story of the past. We have images of the Titanic. We have images of entertainment superstars, Cobb, Ruth, Gehrig. I mean, photographs that were just hidden for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, and now they're, being in a public auction for the first time ever.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. And then, we have modern cards, vintage cards, anything from Herbert to Mantle and Ruth and Gehrig. So it's.
But I'll tell you what has blown my mind. You need to give us a little background. You have a zillion complete sets, and I'm not talking just complete sets, but I'm talking complete Gaudi sets, Bowman sets, Diamond Stars. Tell us about the Tropes Trove.
Yeah, Troops Trove. Yeah, so that is a single collector who put together all these sets, and he started in the 50s and took his father's collection from 30s and earlier, like the Gaudi set, and then just continued to get every possible set of every sport ever. And
you think it's
it was just amazing going to his house. And the Gaudi set is funny because the top 5 cards, his dad dipped them in wax to preserve them.
Wow.
So, I mean, if he only knew that's not a good idea, hopefully he wouldn't have done that. But yeah, it's awesome.
Those are the same people that used to shellac Babe Ruth signed baseballs.
Right.
Dip them in shellac, which was. But it was jaw dropping, the complete sets, and they're all mid to high grade.
Yeah, they're all nice. We got a lot of stuff graded from PSA and SGC, and there were just so many hobby fresh cards that are coming out. I mean, he never sold anything, and it was these people are now seeing these prices and realizing, hey, these cards in my house, I could be a millionaire. And it could just change my life. I mean, we have stuff of his in the next auction, the past auction, this one. Just
is he? Man, I don't want to know who he is, but is he a young guy, relatively young, or is he an old timer?
Probably in his early 70s.
So that's young for you.
Can you give us his address? John and I would like to chat with him.
Yeah, let me go get it. Well, we got everything, so you can go there and meet him and shake his hand. But
Jordan, in terms of bidders / buyers and auctions, are complete sets a thing now? Have they always been a thing? Is it trending upward, downward?
Yeah, complete sets. Sometimes people like the hunt of the complete set. They like to go to card shows.
Sure.
But if you think about it, you're paying full retail for 200, 300, even 500 cards. So when we offer a complete set, some people think, oh, I don't have to go through the trouble and the effort to go buy 500 cards. I might just pay a premium to get it all now.
Yeah.
Good point.
Right.
Good point. What about memorabilia? I mean, the memorabilia market seems to be really blistering hot right now. Is it a little of everything, or is it game-used bats, game-used balls, game-used jerseys? Well, what's hot and what's not, I guess, is the question.
Well, what's hot, I would say, is like the high-end photo match material. Michael Jordan photo match jersey, LeBron photo match jersey, and then vintage. And vintage, you can't really rely on a photo match too often, like a Ruth bat. It's going to be very difficult. But the people that are buying those items, they are the more established collectors who don't show off their collections on Instagram and don't take a million pictures. They will buy $1 million bat, put it in their vault, and tell absolutely nobody.
Unbelievable. Now, what about again, let's get back to the Jordan Gilroy generation. Are they buying memorabilia, game-used stuff? Or do you guys stay, not you guys, I shouldn't say that, but does that investor/collector stay away from the Ty Cobb gamers or Warren Spahn gamers? Yeah,
people under 30, I think they just don't appreciate the historical aspect as much as the established collectors that are a bit older.
But what about are they interested in the Tatis gamers or the Zion Williamson sneakers? Does that interest them?
Not as much, surprisingly.
Really?
They like the cards. They like to go to the trade shows and the card shows. They like to meet at the hotel lobby at 1 a.m. They like to take pictures of their cards and put them online. And that attention, some people crave it. And there's really no attention on the memorabilia right now. It's pretty much texting people and there's not really so much of a card ladder equivalent for memorabilia. It's pretty much just knowing what stuff is sold in the past through auctions and, your connections. So memorabilia is not as flashy, and a lot of the younger people are going for the flash right now. But I hope that changes because, I'm a memorabilia guy at heart. I love history, so
that's
I like
good.
to trade with people.
We're kind of pigeonholing him as a youngster here, but Jordan is actually 67 years old.
He looks damn good.
He has an elaborate array of skin creams and some black kiwi shoe polish
very, very
that
nice.
he uses on the beard. But he's not a young guy.
Very attractive.
Okay, I know this personally. Jordan, I always ask, I don't want to put you on the spot, but when I go through these auctions, looking through all these, I don't want to put him on the spot. He's an old man. I don't want to put him on the spot. But I always look for the nugget. And one thing that's jumped out, I'm not a Sixers fan, but you have a Philadelphia 76ers championship ring in this auction. Can you talk about that and maybe some other kind of unique kind of nugget wow items that may not appeal to everyone, but that are kind of neat?
Well, the number one thing other than that ring, I would say, are the two Bear Bryant hats that we have.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
One of them is one of his houndstooth hats, and another
that's a cool piece
Alabama,
of memorabilia.
That's
hat.
neat.
And they were found in one of his old cars, and someone bought his car and found these two hats under one of the front seats. So we have pictures of the registration, the car. We have photos of the two hats.
That's a cool piece.
See, now that's neat. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I noticed you have quite a bit of boxing paraphernalia. Did that all come from one private collector?
Yes, actually. It's a big collection that we've been selling over the last few years. Just a huge boxing collector. We've been piecing it out. Didn't want to flood the market with too much. But there was, we sold a robe of Sugar Ray Robinson a couple of years ago. That was from this collection. And now we have all these, 100-year-old photographs and signed pictures, and it's amazing.
Speaking of collection, I was in your boss's house.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. But we were doing. Mike was gracious enough, and I said this last week. He was gracious enough to have Ellen and I and the photographer for the new book at his house. And he's got about 4 rooms of memorabilia, JM. And
this is with all the wrestling stuff.
I was supposed to be like helping Ellen and Chrissy Good with the layout.
Right.
So what I did was my responsibility was to go around and, with Hef, and we picked out the memorabilia that I thought would be nice. Brought it all out, laid it all nicely on the floor, and then they didn't see me for another 4 hours. I went from room to room to room. But Jordan, I'll tell you, the height, and I have a picture of me in a private vault, was me sitting in the chair with the Randy Macho Man Savage hat on. And I look pretty cool. I'm no, all kidding aside. I mean, that collection is Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and talk about not needing attention. I mean, nobody knows what he has.
I don't think he knows what he has. No, he does. But I mean, I said, Hef. I said, it was jaw dropping. Walking down that basement, it was like walking into the Hall of Fame. I mean, just the bat collection.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was like, and I'm not talking, Ike DeLock, bats.
Yeah.
We're talking Ruth. I mean, the best of the best. Great stuff.
Hey, Jordan, can you talk about Lelands a little bit? I know Lelands was kind of a pioneer in the whole sports auction game and, your business model, customer service, credo and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Josh and Mike started Lelands before any other auction company for sports memorabilia in the early 80s. And they just have been running on reputation this entire time. They're not money hungry. They're here for the thrill and their passion for the industry. I mean, they would appreciate a $10 Bob Feller bobblehead that they never saw over $1 million Tom Brady card. And that's just pretty much how they've instilled, the work ethic here for the last 4 decades. And Josh and Mike are well respected in the hobby. They don't really need to, be out there and have attention. They just like to stay focused on, bettering the company and the hobby. And we just like to put maybe 4 or 5 catalog auctions a year. We don't want to flood the market with too much stuff, but we also do want to give our clients the opportunity to take advantage of these prices. And the future is looking good for us, and we can't wait for 2022.
Actually, I want to ask you about that because 2020 was a surprisingly good year. I know COVID was all around, but people were inside. I think we couldn't believe how the collectibles industry, blossomed that year. 21, it's continued. What do you see as the outlook for 2022?
I'd like it to at least stay where we are.
Right.
I don't want to be naive and think it's going to grow every 2 days for the next 10 years.
Right.
But if we could at least stay where we are now, then, if this is the new norm, then that'd be awesome.
That's right.
Pretty
great.
Right.
Jordan, do you miss Josh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just a great guy. He was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's just a lot of life. He'd come in and just make everyone happy. And, he was fierce too. Some competitors, couldn't handle some things, but, when he's in the office here, he was a teddy bear, he would just help everyone out with anything. He would just pretty much do anything to better the company and the employees. And we all miss him. I
had, I guess it was 2018. I don't even know if it was Chicago where it was. And he co-hosted the show, he and Derek Grady and myself. We did a 2-hour special show on the Burka stage. I tell you what, of all the shows I've done, that was the show that sticks out in my mind. Laugh, we had fun, and then the last 20 minutes, picture this, you're in the business. We have Josh, Derek, Ken Golden, Brian Drent, Joe Tomasulo,
Wow.
and Brian Dwyer.
How many microphones did you have?
All up on stage, and it was a free.
big guns.
And it was a free for all. It was a free for all.
Wow.
I mean, they were all good natured stuff. All good natured stuff. So it's great. Listen, we have a few minutes left. We got plenty of time. I had another. Type 1 photos. How big is Type 1 photos now?
They're very important, and especially if the photo was used for a trading card. Some photos are worth more than the cards themselves. I mean, there was a Jackie Robinson photo that was used for one of his cards, went for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, even if you get that card in an 8 or a 7, it's still worth maybe half that.
Wow.
So I think it's an emerging market in some way. And I don't know if people are just trying to find the new big thing because cards are just through the roof right now, and they're trying to find that new market that's going to blow up. But that's what we're seeing with tickets too. Tickets and photos are kind of going hand in hand. The tickets, it's great. I like the stubs more than the full tickets because it means the ticket was in the stadium that day.
Right.
But yeah, the Type 1 photo, it just means that it was made within a year or two of the image being taken, and that is crucial.
Ellen and I, we've been the whole time we've been married. I mean, I've mentioned this before. We live in a very old house by design, Revolutionary War house, and we're very, very big we really enjoy on a Saturday afternoon, especially in the fall, driving up the coast in either Maine, New Hampshire, and sneaking into these little out of the way antique shops and antique dealers, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Heading up Route 1.
I do.
And we're always looking for like one thing, that piece of baseball memorabilia, or that card, or that sports memorabilia. We've never come up with anything. Is this as a professional opinion? Are we ever going to find that one big thing in an antique shop, or do those guys know what they're doing? And if they, how does that work? Where are we going to find that Wagner card?
That's a good question. If I knew the answer, I'd be driving there.
Yeah, go find it.
It's possible, but a lot of people are smart now. They're lining up at 4 a.m. outside people's houses for garage sales, and now they just understand there's money to be made. So now it is a little harder, but you just mention the right thing, and he says, "Oh, I didn't think anyone would want that. I have it in my attic. Let me show you." And it's a half a Wagner card, a full Wagner card, or something crazy like that. It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. Hey, I want to talk about a guy who I think, will be in the upper echelon of sports cards and memorabilia for a long time to come, and that's LeBron James. A lot of people think he's slowing down now. This year, I think you'll hate this, but I think he's the best basketball player I ever saw. I think he's the best basketball player I ever saw.
Better than Michael.
Better than Michael. Because he's bigger, stronger, better rebounder.
That's blasphemous.
Basketball player. Not greatest winner, not greatest champ. Best basketball player.
Blasphemous, I say.
Listen, I'm a Bird. You think I like saying it? I'm a Larry Bird guy.
All right.
All right? Anyway, you have some LeBron rookie cards in this auction. Talk about those, and then your thoughts on LeBron and where he's going to be in the annals of memorabilia.
So, yeah, we have one of his 2003 exquisite game-used triple patches, which, as a rookie card now, you think he couldn't have worn the jersey. It's his rookie card. So it's quite interesting to see a game-used patch from his rookie season on the card. And back then, like, the vision that they had for exquisite was just absolutely amazing. Now they're using, they could use a piece of my shirt now and put it in a card and say it's player worn. But back in the day, they were actual game-used swatches. And then we have the 2003 inscriptions, the chosen one, back at 9.5. That's a beautiful card. It looks like an 11 out of 10 on the strength of the autograph. Over time, I think he could still go up. He's maybe towards the end of his career. Even if he doesn't win another title, he's still locked in history. And he's global. People don't just like him here; they love him in.
He is global.
Across the world, everywhere.
Yep.
So when does the auction end?
It ends next Saturday, December 11th.
December 11th, Lelands. I tell you what, it's a great auction. I spent a lot of time on the site yesterday just perusing through it. You know what I like to do? Because this is how cheap I am.
You don't need to tell us.
I go on to these auction sites, and yours says you can go by price, highest price, lowest.
You go low to high.
Oh God, yes.
I go to low. Everyone does that.
I go to low.
Yeah,
and then I see what there's no bids on.
Yeah,
and that's what I go after.
Low to high.
So I just bid on a Monty Hall pair of game used Italian slip-ons, $3.
Monty Hall. Door number 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, we love you, and good luck with the auction. And say hi to Hef for us.
Will do.
Good talking to you, Jordan. Take care, buddy.
Jordan Gilroy, good kid. Good
Excellent.
Kid. Nice kid.
Excellent.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to pull. Boy, this guy really, he
looks angry.
He's got nice teeth, though.
Yeah, not really.
Really. All right. Well, we're gonna pull, see who.
He looks like actually like a chauffeur whose like ride didn't show up in this outfit. Not even an umpire.
Wait a minute. Al's on camera. We can see him. He looks a little like Al.
Without the hair.
Al. Yeah, he looks a little like Al.
A little bit.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we are proud to have them as the official trading card company of the Great American Collectibles Show. Panini leads the way in innovation and design with great brands like Donruss, Prism, Contenders, Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate. Partnering with the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball Players Association, NASCAR, FIFA, and college, Panini is certainly at the head of the hobby. You can find Panini products in major retailers like Walmart and Target, or online at icollectpaniniamerica.com. That's Panini America. Who do you collect?
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Rare dead stock to the latest release, new or pre-owned. The drops never stop. eBay, authenticity guarantee.
And Zap, with the holidays right around the corner, eBay is the place to go for all of your memorabilia, sports or non-sports cards, autographs, and much more. Whether it's a gift for that special someone or you just want to add to your collection, eBay's huge marketplace should be your first stop. And if you sell, now's the time to flip your cards and get some extra holiday cash. I shop on eBay all the time. That's eBay, connecting buyers and sellers globally.
I just bought some fishing tackle.
I bought a couple jerseys on eBay. Yeah.
Al's with us. Hi,
Yeah.
Al. Hey. Al, we've had a discussion during the commercial break about Al Crisafulli. And
I was having that same discussion here.
And Christina, I asked everybody's opinion, and Christine's opinion I really value. Christine, what do you think?
You're really going with the Christine today.
Oh, Christine, I'm
like,
sorry.
My grandmother.
pushing the Christine.
Christine was my ex-wife.
Thanks.
Wow. Chrissy.
Yeah. That's painful. He's really trying to get me now. No, Al, I mean, I was admiring you. I just thought, you just look really good with a beard, I think.
This is because of all of the chins that I have. It's better to mask them with a beard.
No, I think
now,
a
should
goat.
It be like a goatee, or should I do one of those beards that just hangs off my chin?
No,
we're not looking for like Sons of Anarchy over here. Like a nice goatee.
Yeah, like a goatee. I think
gentleman.
he'd look cool with a
Maybe
goat.
even just like a 5-day George Michael thing.
You should
maybe
there you
just
go.
something like
Yeah.
that.
You should
like
consider
a-
one too.
Like a face tattoo, also.
I actually look
Easy
pretty
there.
good. I look pretty good with a goatee.
If you had a goatee, you'd look like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, I would.
You for sure.
He would look like me.
All right, listen, before we get to Al, we are going to pick out of the famous cheap Staten Island Joe bag.
Right.
This is the
signed angry chauffeur. This is a guy who was supposed to pick someone up at noon, and the guy wasn't there noon, 12:30, 12:45.
First of all, big guy. That is a Hall of Fame.
That's right. Oh, sorry about that. I thought it was the angry
Al
chauffeur.
Barlick, Hall of Famer, now dead. But he did sign it. It's signed.
And it's signed right there
by Al
on a
Barlick.
brown suit in black pen.
So we are
you
going to
cannot
pick
see it.
out of the...
We'll take your word for it.
And it's not like there was a lot of white
Yeah.
here that he could have used. He chose to sign it right on the dark
All right.
suit.
This week's winner is... Who is it? Steve Friedman. Steve Friedman. I know who Steve is. Steve's a big follower of the show. Steve, you have 1 week. I repeat, 1 week to email us, message us, PM us, call me, carrier pigeon. I don't care how the hell you get
If you're
to us.
Superman, you saw that when you
If
held
we
that
don't
up.
hear from you in a week, you're out.
You're out.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Crisafulli, you
Al.
have had one hell of a year.
It's been a good year.
Great year, yeah.
Now,
I think we all have.
Yeah, you just completed. Tell us about your auction that you just completed, and then we want to talk about 2022.
It was an excellent auction. The result was better than I had hoped. Again, it was our third $1 million auction in a row. Every one we did this year, which was our first $3 million auctions ever.
Wow!
So that was it was a great period of growth for love of the game, and also I think for everyone in the hobby, we're the little guys. So if we did well, I think everyone did well. So
something, Al. Everybody is rooting for the little guy. There's a handful of you guys out there that have great reputations. We've talked about it before. You're good with the public. I think part of it is that a lot of the public can relate.
Absolutely.
Relate
Yeah.
to the smaller auction houses.
Sure.
Because, it's what they're all about.
Yep.
Yep.
No doubt.
I think one of the things that that we're seeing with some of the smaller auction companies is that it's actually advantageous to make consignments of your cards to a smaller auction because it's a more meaningful card in that auction. If you open up a big 800-page auction catalog and find your $40,000 card in the middle of that, it's really hard for that card to get noticed at all.
It's a very good point.
In a smaller auction, it's a lot number 4. And I think a perfect example of this is we had a Steve Carlton rookie card in our last auction. It was PSA 10. The previous sale of that card, which was just a few months ago, was $66,000, and we just sold it last week for $83,000. And so, I mean, it was lot number 3 in Love of the Game. And so I think that, just the smaller companies' ability to pay more attention to that type of a card and have that be more of a meaningful card in this auction, it just gets a little bit more marketing support.
Al, and I don't know if this happens or not, but some of the really big auction houses zoom in and bid on items that the smaller auction houses have?
So we
and then move them to their auction.
We have thousands of bidders, and they're from all walks of the hobby. They're smaller individual collectors and much larger institutional type of investors and all points in between from all over the world. And so, ultimately at the end, the auction, the bids are coming in so fast and furious, it's hard to watch who's bidding. I know who I'm sending invoices to, and it's across the board. It's all over the place.
Gotcha.
And there certainly are auction house owners and employees that bid with us. But we do find that, most of our stuff is going to guys like us who are just collecting,
Cool.
and looking for that thing to fill their set, or our auction tends to, we tend to have a lot of weird stuff you don't see every day, kind of esoteric stuff. Our last auction had a host of great rare football programs.
Okay.
Those things are going to collectors who are looking for a program for the first Chicago Bears season.
Right. Yeah.
For $20,000 that sold for. We had the program for the first Bears Packers game in 1921. It was actually the Chicago Staleys. That sold for $18,000. So it's mostly collectors who are looking for that weird kind of stuff that you just don't see all the time, and so hopefully that answers your question.
So Al, 2022 for Love of the Game and also in the business itself, what do you see coming up for next year?
So for us, we are focusing. We're going to continue to focus on higher end vintage sports memorabilia and cards, of course.
Yep.
We think we have some strengths in 19th century and early 20th century, as well as more esoteric material. I think that's a strong suit for us. Stuff that needs you to tell a story. We're going to be coming down the pike with a really large collection of Type 1 photos.
Okay.
That will be selling throughout the year, which is going to be great. Dead ball era baseball photos.
Cool stuff.
There's some really, really nice material there, and we've just closed up our fall auction, so we're just really starting to work on gathering consignments for the spring auction. But the other thing is I'm hoping to be able to safely get on the road again. That's sort of a thing that differentiates us from a lot of our competitors.
Sure.
That I actually get in a car and drive around the country and meet collectors, and I do it a couple times a year.
Nothing like seeing the faces and the items in
really,
person, right?
And I've been very hesitant to get out there because it's very concerning to me that you could be carrying the virus and not know it, and then walk into the house of somebody who's immunocompromised and accidentally infect them, and then they have a worse outcome than I have, And so
That's
I've
a good
been
point.
really hesitant to do that, but I'm hoping that in 22 I'll be able to do that. As far as the hobby itself is concerned, I'm starting to see, and it's probably as a result of the run up in prices in cards, I'm starting to see a very clear delineation between really high quality cards within the grade, right? So a really nice eye appeal 3 is selling for significantly more than a run-of-the-mill 3.
You know something? You're bringing up a good point, because on all the chat lines, especially Tobacco Row, which I know you're familiar with, I pay close attention to that. And actually, you're the one that kind of turned me on to that, to starting to look for that. And the Tobacco Row guys, I'm telling you, man, they have it down pat. They can see that PSA 3 and talk about how it's going to sell as a PSA 4. They're going to get a PSA 4 price. Right. It's just amazing. Al, we have about a minute left. Were you happy with the T3 results in the auction?
I was. It's a beautiful set, and it was nice to be able to break it up, because it's hard to find those cards. And there were a lot of cards, within the collector grades that are a little bit more affordable. They all went for decent prices, but it was nice to be able to put those cards in the hands of a lot of people. From what I can see, there's a lot of different invoices where guys won 1 or 2, and I like that.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, so your website address is?
It's loveofthegameauctions.com. We're accepting consignments now for our spring auction, and this is the best time to consign, because we can, guarantee better placement in the catalog and more marketing support.
And pay attention to what Al said about, if you have that one really cool card, it's better to be a big fish in a small pond, rather than be lost
among
somewhere.
Many. Right.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Al. Listen, if we don't talk to you, have a happy holiday, best to your family, guys, and great health.
Send my best to Rico.
I will.
And hi to everybody on Tobacco Row.
Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Guys.
Al Crisafulli. Good guy. Love of the game.
Yeah. Good guest today.
Yeah. Hey, next week we have a special show next week. We're bringing in Rico's going to be here. We're going to be bringing in Brian Siegel, who is one of the ultimate collectors, probably has one of the top 1, 2, or 3 greatest memorabilia collections and card collections in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be joining us as not a guest host, but we're going to bring him in.
Good.
And we have
live
some great
in studio?
No, he's in California.
Good. Okay.
With that being said, JM.
Hey, good to see you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll see you before the holidays.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have a couple more to do before the holidays. Christy.
Now it's Christy.
Yeah, he'll get it right eventually.
No, Christy, thank you very much.
Like he's stroking out today.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank
You're
you, Dave.
welcome.
David, have a great one. And to our viewers and listeners, remember, happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.